Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm glad you're here today because if you're listening in January or even early here in the year or later in the year, this episode could save you a lot of frustration and honestly, it could save you some money too. So today we're going to be talking about something that surprises a lot of people every single year. And it's this, is that Medicare is not set it and forget it. So when a lot of folks choose a plan, they feel good about it, everything's working, and then January hits and suddenly, they're noticing maybe higher costs at the pharmacy, perhaps higher copays at the doctor, maybe their plan premium has changed, or the plan benefits have changed, and maybe the doctor doesn't take the plan anymore. So it can feel really confusing, stressful, and it's completely unexpected. So today we're going to break down why Medicare plans can change even if you do nothing, what resets on January 1st, why people tend to notice the pain in January, common plan changes, beneficiaries miss, real life examples of what happens, and how you can review coverage effectively so you're not surprised again. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with this truth up front. Even if you don't change your Medicare plan can change. And for a lot of people, that feels unfair, which I understand. Like, wait a second. I didn't do anything, so why is this happening? So here's what's happening behind the scenes. So Medicare Advantage and Part D prescription drug plans are offered by insurance carriers. Every year, those carriers can update things like your premium, copays, deductibles, networks, formularies, and other benefits. So even if you stay put on the plan that you have, it may still be different in the next year. And one of the biggest reasons people feel blindsided is because these changes reset on a specific date. So plans, formularies, everything resets January 1st. So the plan that worked perfectly in December may not work the same for you in January. In January is when people really notice it because they're filling prescriptions, scheduling doctors' visits, and that's when the cost will show up. And that's why annual reviews are so important. A quick annual check-in can help prevent some of these surprise moments. Now let's talk about why Medicare isn't one of those pick it once and never think about it again type of things. Because I get it, people want stability, especially when it comes to your healthcare, but Medicare plans are influenced by factors every year like contracts between carriers and doctors, changing the Medicare reimbursement rates, changing the amount of financial support that carriers receive from Medicare, the costs of service change, and the overall utilization of benefits change. So carriers look at all of that when they're building the plan for next year. And when they update the plan, the changes you might feel the most are premium increases, increased copays, new or higher deductibles, and reductions in what we call value-added benefits. So the value-added benefits are things like vision, dental, hearing, over-the-counter allowances. And those benefits aren't guaranteed forever. They're typically they could be some of the things that shrink when plans adjust. So if somebody tells you that Medicare is simple or that once you pick a plan, you'll never need to think about it again, hate to break it to you, that's just not how it works. Quick recap. These are the 4 big points I want everybody listening to remember. 1, plans can change annually even if you do nothing. You can stay enrolled and still end up with higher or different costs. 2, premiums and formularies reset on January 1st. That's why January feels chaotic for many people. 3, January is when people notice higher costs because that's when you're using prescriptions, doctor visits, and benefits again. And 4, annual reviews help prevent surprises. So a quick review each year can help keep you from getting caught off guard. So that's the headline. So let's expand from there. So we're going to be, in this portion, we're going to be talking about the first question, common changes that surprise people. So one of the biggest questions that people ask me around this time of the year are, what are some common plan changes that tend to surprise people? And here's what I tell people. Before the annual enrollment period, back in October through December, carriers will send out a document. It's called we call it an ANOC, A-N-O-C, but it stands for Annual Notice of Changes. And the ANOC outlines what your benefits were for the previous year and what, if any, changes there will be for the next year. And this is the important part, is that everybody receives one. But let's be honest, mail happens, things get lost, people toss it, it gets mixed in with flyers. Sometimes it never reaches you. It may go, if you receive your documents electronically, it may go to the junk folder. And here's what tends to surprise people the most. Surprise one, the plan didn't renew. Some people find that their plan didn't renew when they try to fill their medications, use the insurance at a doctor visit. Surprise number two, the premium increased. Especially for drug plans, somebody may find that the premium went up so much that it feels unaffordable. Number three, provider network changes. This is a really big one. A provider who may have accepted your plan last year may not accept it anymore this year. And finding that out at the doctor's office is one of the most stressful ways to discover it. So next question. When someone experiences higher costs, what's the first thing they should do to understand what changed? Here's the best first step. So assume something changed and investigate it right away. The majority of the time, things do change from year to year, and there are several reasons for those changes. It could be renegotiated contracts with doctors, offices, Medicare reimbursement rates change, carriers receive less financial support from Medicare, overall cost of living increases, and then increased utilization of benefits. So when I'm talking utilization of benefits, I'm talking about maybe people on that plan started using it more, so those costs increase. Carriers look at these factors and decide how to structure the plan. And often what you'll see is maybe the value-added benefits like vision, dental, hearing, over-the-counter would change. Copay increases. Sometimes you'll see copay decreases. Premium increases. Your maximum out-of-pocket changing, things like that. What medications that are accepted. So if you notice the higher cost, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a mistake, but it does mean that you should find out why it changed, because sometimes you can fix it. So now this next question is one that really matters because it hits people in real life. So how can changes to provider networks or drug formularies affect someone? This can have a huge impact. Picture this. So you're at the doctor's office, you've been seeing this doctor for years, and suddenly you hear they don't accept your plan anymore. Or you're at the pharmacy picking up medications you've taken for years, and suddenly you hear the cost is way higher. That's not just inconvenient, it's stressful. Some people don't realize that that their plan now has a drug deductible or a medical deductible or increased deductibles. And if you weren't expecting that cost, it can throw your entire monthly budget off. And I know that this is especially difficult for seniors who live on a limited, strict budget. It can genuinely put people in a position where they feel like they have to choose between food, rent, or life-saving treatment and medications. And that's not okay. And that's why I emphasize annual plan reviews, because sometimes those issues can be prevented before it happens. Let's wrap up with a simple way to review your coverage effectively. So if you're listening right now and thinking, okay, what should I actually check? Here's a quick checklist. 1, check your premium. Has it increased? Is it still affordable? 2, confirm your doctors are still in network. Don't assume, verify. Confirm your prescriptions are still covered, and check the cost, not just that they're covered, but what tier they're in. 4, look for new deductibles. A deductible you didn't have last year can be a huge surprise. 5, review the value-added benefits. So the dental, vision, hearing, over-the-counter. Make sure you still have what you think you have. And kind of the final question, and one of the simplest and most important questions, is what advice would I give to someone who is confused or concerned about their Medicare coverage right now? Well, my advice is call me. Or if you work with an agent or broker, call them. You can also call the plan directly. There's a customer service number on the back of your card, and ask why you're seeing higher costs. Because you don't have to guess. Because you don't have to stress alone, and you don't have to wait until it becomes a bigger problem. So if this episode helped you, please do me a favor, share it with your friends, family members. who might be confused about Medicare right now. And remember, Medicare plans can change every year, even if you don't. That's why January surprises so many people and why annual reviews matter. So thanks. I'll see you in the next episode. And I have a quick little message before I go. I am hiring. So if you are somebody that, or know somebody that has thought, I'd like to start a career where I can help people, I can help those on Medicare understand the benefits and just make it more easy, make it easier to grasp in your mind, let me know. So we are I'm actively hiring. So please, anytime you can reach out to me. My phone number is 512-599-9527. You can send me an email at Mackenzie@premiermedicaresolutions.com, or you can go to my website, which is premiermedicaresolutions.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Medicare Matters podcast with Mackenzie. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss an episode. Please also leave a review, as that helps me reach more people that can benefit from this podcast content. If you have questions or topics that you want me to cover for a future episode, please email them to Mackenzie@premiermedicaresolutions.com.